Well, good morning to you all, and welcome to our webinar today. My name is Tom Shields. I'm the Operations Director here at Pimbrook Software. Today, we'd like to announce the release of our Sage 50 query tool called AccountsMate. And we've been developing AccountsMate over the past year and have trialed it with a number of clients, and also internally with our account staff here, and we got some great feedback. So we're making this tool available free to all of you folks there, all of our Sage 50 clients, as part of our support service. We've already sent out an email at the end of January with some installation details and the license key. So you should have received that by now. Just to note that it would have gone to the main support contact that we have, but let us know if you didn't get this. AccountsMate is a configurable query tool for Sage 50. So today I'd like to go through its main features and then show you some of the uses that it can be put to in the real world. And these are based on our work with actual users, both trialed clients and our own staff here. I also want to go through the installation and setup of the software. It'll take about half an hour, a little more, and we'll allow then some time at the end for questions, all gone well. Okay, just a little bit of housekeeping. All of you people there, the attendees are muted. So if you'd like to ask a question, just down the bottom of the screen, you should see a chat button. So you can enter your question there, and I'll try and get that. We'll try and answer those at the end of the session. Any questions that we don't get to, I'll follow up with and try and get back to you. You can also email me. I put up my email address at the beginning. I will do at the end as well, so you can email me. And failing all of that, if you email or ring our support desk or email support@pimbrook.ie, we'll try and resolve that for you. Finally, just to note, we are recording this presentation, and we will make it available to yourselves as well. Okay, so AccountsMate. Some of the benefits, as I mentioned, it's only a benefit, I suppose, if it works for you, but we are making it free to all of our clients that have the Sage 50 contract. There's 2 levels of support we offer, standard and premium. So there are a number of features that will only be available to premium contracts, premium contract clients. I'll point them out. It's mainly the data analysis and the document preview, but we point them out when we get to the demo. So why are we doing this? Well, we've over 700 Sage 50 clients, and we've been supporting this space for quite a number of years. And one of the most common queries that run through that is how people want to get at the data, get more out of the Sage 50 data. So we felt a tool like this would really help. We believe we offer one of the best Sage 50 support services in Ireland today, and we want to keep improving that. And obviously, in return, we hope we can get increased sales through recommendations from clients like yourself. So the benefits from the software itself, as I said, it's an enhanced query tool, and it's designed that you can create configurable views to suit specific tasks that you're going to tackle. And you do this by selecting data fields to view. We've exposed more of the Sage 50 data than the standard Sage 50 will. So for example, like analysis codes, you can drag out much more easily. You can filter, sort, total, and group the data. And you can analyze transactional data into queries across periods, like, for example, customer product sales across year and month. Okay, so also you can easily share the data and export it to many of the common formats: Excel, Word, PDF, HTML, and you can link to email directly from the data, or out to websites, for example, if you've got a website address. You can produce documents from it, so things like price lists and stuff like that, stock lists. And it also gives access to more users. The way we connect to Sage 50, it means that any local user you have doesn't actually have to have Sage 50 on their PC. Once they can connect to the data, i.e. on your server, AccountsMate can be installed on that PC. So you can give access to users that you may not have given access to Sage 52 before. For example, front of house, reception people, customer service people, maybe people out in the warehouse. And also, if you have remote users like sales reps on the road and they have access to connect to your server, it can work over a remote access network like that. Just to note, AccountsMate, as I said, is a query tool, so it's remote. It's read-only onto Sage 50, so there's no danger of corrupting the Sage 50 data. And finally, there's no need for an extra Sage license. So if you've got five Sage user licenses, 5 Sage 50 user licenses, you can add on AccountsMate to give other users access to some of the Sage 50 data. Okay, so moving on to some of the uses that we've seen this AccountsMate put to. And as I said, these are from real world scenarios that we've seen. So you'd have a simple account inquiry. So anyone, either a Sage 50 user or someone who currently doesn't have access to Sage 50, can look up customer account details, supplier account details. They can drill into their inter-transactions. So you can imagine that maybe, as I said, customer service or reception staff can look up customer details quite quickly. You can also produce mailing lists. You can interact with Word and create mailing lists for marketing campaigns. You could create up-to-date price lists for sales reps and customers. Look up stock information if you're out in a stock room or a warehouse. One of the things we've seen it used quite a lot is for debt control, collecting cash, because it allows you to focus on the main money that's owed quite easily. It can assist your purchaser buyers by providing supplier information and helping to predict what products they will need. And finally, then you can analyze sales and purchase transactions across periods. So it can give you, as I said, customer by product sales year on year, month on month. Okay. Right, so let's have a look at some software. Right, so the tool itself, AccountsMate, is started from your desktop. It's installed on your desktop and connected to your Sage 50. It's designed, you've got a top toolbar here with some actions. You can, for example, select the company you're in. Down the side here, we've got the main functions. So we've got an overview. We've got customer inquiry, supplier inquiry, product and sales analysis. And if we pop to the first function there, the overview, what this does is it shows you all the total number of customers, total that are active, and suppliers and products. And the second panel here gives you a debtor's position. So a list of debtors, and it's aged. You can select the aging and it'll filter them out. This is Sage 50 demo data, so it's the transaction data is a bit old. And then down the bottom here, you have the creditor's position, which is similar to the debtor. So it's just an overview of your company. If we pop into the customer inquiry, it's a good example of the typical inquiry that we've designed. So they're all designed the same way. Again, you've got a top toolbar with some actions, which we'll talk about later. You've got a main grid here, which in this case is showing you a list of customers. Over to the right here, you've got a panel, which we call the property sheet, which shows you all the information we've exposed, and they're grouped into sections. So we can expand that and show you all the details there. Okay. Down the bottom, you've typically got a second grid, which will show some related data. And in this case, we're showing for this customer the communications that we had with them as recorded in Sage 50. Okay, so that's how the inquiry screens are typically constructed. So what can you do with this? Right, you can move, add, or delete columns. And what I've done on this particular list here is I've added in analysis code, for example. That's something you can't do on the Sage 50 list views. The analysis code in here shows you the area the customer came from. So we can filter by that, sort by that by just clicking the column or any of the columns. We can filter, so everyone from time and where. And we can do multiple filters with a balance of greater than 3,000. So it's very, very quick to filter sort on that. I'll just clear that filter off. Okay. You can also group by any field. I'll just group all the data there by area, and then just you can drill into that, and you can see the customers below that area. Just ungroup that. You can add totals down here. We've added a total count, an average of your credit limit and the balance, and there's others min and max as well. Okay, so that's how you can construct a view of how you want to look at the data. You can save that view then up here in the layout. So I've saved this as account details. I've got others there, the default and a debt collection view, which we'll talk about later. Okay, so configure a view and save that off. Some other things that you can do with the data. We can drill into the, sort that there. So we can drill into the data. If there's information behind that, so I'm drilling into the balance, and it's showing me the transactions that are behind that. This has opened up my transaction inquiry. It's again similar sort of screen. This is like your activity in Sage 50, but down the bottom here we have other related information. I can still see the customer details and its transactions. I can see if there's an invoice details behind that invoice posting there, right down to the line level. So I can see the quantities, the lines, the products, and the prices. And I can even go back to the order if there was an order attached to it. Okay. I'll just pop back to the customers. We can export any of this information as well to any of the standard export functions, so CSV or export formats, a Word document, HTML, PDF, and I'll just give an example of Excel. So it opens up Excel and throws out the data as you see it, very, very simply, very quickly. Okay. If your data, for example, you can click on an email address and you can email directly from it. It will open up whatever your default email client is. In this case, it's Outlook, and pull in the email address so you can email directly from it. If you had the web link there, which you could pull on, you can also link straight to their website. And equally, we've got, if you have a phone dialer on your PC, which you can do, you could dial the number there as well. So there's a few things you can go straight from the grid. Okay, finally, we've got a preview. So this is a document creator. So we've pulled it in here. You can create headers. Okay, I just create a header there. footer information, and make a little document out when it was printed, page 1 of 2. So you can create those. You can print those, save them off, and export them again to various formats if you so wish. Okay. Right. So they're the main things that you can do with AccountsMate. So I just want to go then into and talk about some of the uses that we've seen AccountsMate being put to. So the first one we talked about there was an account inquiry. So I'm going to pop to our suppliers. Again, a similar screen layout. I'm going to open up our account details layout, which is a view we've constructed as I've shown you there. It's with some of the methods. And I can, a front of house person can, or a buyer can now look at, for example, filter analysis code here. It's a type of business, so it's electrical equipment. So I can look up those any suppliers of those type. Click onto the supplier itself. We can see any communications I've had down with them. And over to the right here, I've got all their extra information. We can even go down and see the invoice balances across the year and what we paid them across the year. We can also drill in from the balance here, as we showed you. We can drill and see the transactions from here. Okay, so that's a simple account inquiry on suppliers. Obviously, you can do that on customers as well. One of the other functions, and as you know, keep iterating that anyone that has AccountsMate, even if they don't currently have Sage 50, can do this. We'll just do a simple mailing list. So I've created another layout, another view with the address details for the suppliers. I'm going to export that quickly to Excel, as I've shown you. The nice thing about what AccountsMate will do, it will put this into the same area on your PC, this file. So what I've done is in Word, I've just created a template letter. I can open that. It's asking me, do I want to run the mail merge that I've set up? I'm going to say yes. And there we go. There's the letter with the 15 suppliers. So the 15 letters there that I've exported. So very, very simple. I set that up. If you know Word and no mail merge, I set that up in about 5 minutes. And as I said, AccountsMate just allows you to pull out that data very quickly. It's just an example of how you can use that exporting. I'm going to pop to customers again and look at what people have used for debt control. Okay, again, I'm selecting that view that I've set up, and this one it's filtered by a payment date that I want to look at from, and also obviously from anyone that owes us money, so the balance is greater than 0. And I've sorted it to show me the largest amounts outstanding. So from here, as I've shown you, we can email, we could ring the customer, we could email the customer directly. We can see, by clicking on the customer, we can see what any communication. So we had a payment reminder, for example, down here. Over to the side, we can open up the invoice details to give us a history of what we've invoiced them and a history of their payments. Okay. We can drill to the transactions as I've shown you. So you're now going to discuss the account with you've called the customer. You want to discuss the account with them. You can pick up one of the invoices there from the activity. Look at the invoice details right down to the line. So it's a jet printer for them. And you can even go back and see, how many was ordered and how many was delivered. So you've got all the information in one place there when you're dealing with a customer for debt collection. Okay. Very quickly, just to show you some items you can do in the products area. So I've constructed a price list view. And I've grouped it by category. So we've got our business machines. I'm showing you the selling price, and also I've included in the discount breaks or some of the discount breaks that Sage allows you to set up there. Very quickly, I can preview that, create a little document, which I can now publish or send out to our reps or indeed your customers. Okay, very, very quick, very easy to do. Another area in the products might be a stock list. So you give this to your warehouse staff, right? So I'm just constructed a view here showing the product, the location where it's taken, the stock, what's currently in stock, what's allocated, when it was last purchased, and when it was last stock taken. Okay, very quickly you can. Some people have considered doing is attaching a scanner to the PC, and you could quickly scan into your filter there, and it brings up the one product that you're looking at if you know the code. Okay. Right. Now, an area that has interested a lot of people is the data analysis, and we allow data analysis on sales and purchases. So this particular one here, I'm looking at all sales invoices between this period, January 2017 and December 2018. And I've just constructed a layout that's going to show me total sales broken down by the month. Okay. I can obviously preview that if I wanted to make a little report from that, or I can chart it. Okay. You can change the chart. So I wish, give it a 3D pie chart. Okay. Go back to the query itself. If this is sales value, I can pull in from the top here, I can pull in the quantity, include the quantity for one. So sales value and quantity. I can include the profit. Okay. All right. Wrong place. Okay. So sales value, quantity, and the profit made across the months. Okay, so that's total sales. I can save that if I then wanted to, if that's the view I want. If you wanted a further breakdown of that, you can pop into some other layouts we have, which, for example, customer sales. So I'm now showing all my customers. Again, I'm showing the sales value across the year, across the month. I can collapse the year if I so wish. Okay, or expand the year here. Right. I could bring down the quarter if I wanted. So let's bring in quarter. So year by quarter by month. Okay. Again, I could bring down quantity if I wanted to look at quantity within here, as I've shown you. Okay. So now let's see. I want to now look at what the breakdown of the products that this customer has bought. So up the top here, we've got the various fields that I want to use. So I'll bring down product description. I'll put it in the row here, and I can now drill into all the products that customer has bought. Okay. And equally, and in the other, I can expand the whole report. Okay, and again, I can preview that into a document if I wished. Okay. Right. That's more or less it. Okay, so that's the main features and usages of Sage 50, AccountsMate for Sage 50. Just we are enhancing AccountsMate continuously, so there's some new features on the way as well. We have, and I see a question that come in through there. We have links to the nominal side. We've also got sales orders and quotations coming, and we've got something that we've been asked for quite a bit: age debt by both the age of the transaction and also by the payment due. Now all these updates will be automatically just applied to AccountsMate. So the next time, once they're available, the next time you log in, you'll get them. I'll just give you a little bit of a taste for that. These are in the pipe. We hope to have the nominals out by March. So in the standard version, you will get access to see the nominal accounts and drill into transactions. We'll also have in the premium side, we'll have the data analysis of this. So we'll analyze down to transaction level as we've done with the sales and purchases. And you'll be able to produce things like profit and loss data across year and month. And because it's transaction, you'll actually be able to drill into the nominal account. So this is the chart of accounts categories, but you could drill down to the account and actually the transaction details that made up these figures. Okay, so I just want to talk briefly about the installation. As I said, we sent out email instructions and with a license key of how you can get access to AccountsMate. And we've included in that email the full instructions, which is basically, in summary, download the software, install it with your license key, and if it's the first time you've used it, you just need to set up a link to your Sage 50. So I'm just going to step through that. So this is the email you should get, and it may have surprised some people, but some people were slightly worried that was it a bogus email, but it will come from our support at Pimbrook.ie. It'll have a subject of AccountsMate installation details. In the main body of it, then, the first link here is just a link to some overview information, that a little video on AccountsMate and some other overview information. How to set up AccountsMate begins with a knowledge base which has all of the instructions that you'll need to go through. So just firstly, check the prerequisites. So make sure that you have the email. If it's a first installation of AccountsMate in the organization, you will have to link it to Sage 50. So you'll need, where AccountsMate doesn't have to run on a PC that has Sage 50, but when you're setting it up for the first time and linking it to Sage 50, you do need to do that on a PC with Sage 50 on it. You'll also need a login to Sage 50. So we would advise Manager. It just gives full access. And it's recommended that you use the latest version of Sage 50, but AccountsMate will work from and has been tested on back to versions 24. Okay, so the first link in the first part of the instructions is to download the software. Now, we have a busy screen here, but basically what this will do is it'll bring you to your browser and it'll download the software. And the last part of this screen here, that's what you ideally want, and you'll just click on that to start the download. Unfortunately, the world we live in now, Windows is quite locked down, typically with antivirus and the browsers and the system. So you may find that this download is blocked. It's not a common download. It's not a Microsoft download. Obviously, it's from ourselves. It is certified, as you can see here. So you may get that. This would appear maybe depending on your setup. I was using Microsoft Edge browser, and this comes up at the bottom of the left-hand side of the screen just to say it was blocked. I had to click on these buttons here, and it just gave up a warning. You just continue on until you get the download file. Click on the download, and the download will start for you. It'll prompt you first off for your installation string. That's in the email that we've sent out. Just you can copy and paste it straight in. Click on install. It'll confirm the details. So the organization, it should be your company name, and it should be for Sage 50. Click that's correct. It'll download and start the installation for you. It should only take shouldn't take more than a minute. The whole process. Click next. It'll ask you where you want to put AccountsMate and for who. I would advise you take all the defaults. Click next, and that's it, complete. right? So AccountsMate is now installed, and as I said, it should take less than a minute to do that, all going well. You can then start AccountsMate from using this AccountsMate console, and that will be under either the Windows Start menu. Here, there's a folder for AccountsMate with AccountsMate console here, or it'll be an icon like this on your desktop. Okay. So when you run AccountsMate for the first time, if it hasn't started, if it hasn't been linked to Sage 50, it's the first time you've run it, you will need to set up the link to Sage 50. Again, it's not onerous. It's all in the instructions. This is the second part of the instructions we gave you. So if I just step you through that. So you start AccountsMate from your desktop. You get the loading screen. AccountsMate will know it hasn't been set up before, so it'll ask you, are you administrator? If you're setting up AccountsMate for the first time, you should be administrator for AccountsMate. So you click yes. AccountsMate will reload itself, and it'll check for the link to Sage 50, basically to find your companies. It'll say no companies exist. Would you like to set them up? Yes, you do. It'll pop up this screen for you. It has pulled in all the information that I can see from the PC as to where Sage 50 is, what version of Sage 50, and the company files that it has. It won't have this filled in just yet, so it won't know what the companies are, and obviously it won't have tested it. What you have to do then is you have to enter in your Sage 50 logon. In this case, we're using Manager, which is preferred. So you enter those in, you click the test button up the top, and it will connect to each of your companies, and it should come back with the company name and the result being successful. You can, if you wish, include or exclude what companies you want AccountsMate to look at, because you may not want, you might have test companies there, or you may not want to, on this PC, to link to certain companies. Once you're happy with that, you press save. And that's it. Your AccountsMate then should be fully set up and ready to go for you. Okay, that's everything. I hope you found that useful. So I'm going to open it up to any questions. As I said, I'll try and answer. There's a few has come through already, I see. I'm going to answer as many as I can in the next, say, 5-10 minutes. There's my email, tom.shields@pimbrook.ie. There's also a link there which you get more information on AccountsMate. As I said, you should have all got your AccountsMate installation email. If you haven't, it will have gone to the main contact. We only send it out to one person per company, the main contact on the support contract that we have. So just if you can go to them or come back to us, and we'll organize something. So I'll just open her up to some questions. Okay, we have a few coming in. Can you restrict users? Oh yeah, to what they can see. Yes, you can. We're reminding that AccountsMate is only read only, so there's limited. You can't update any of the data, but yes, you can restrict users to what they can see by role. You can set up roles in AccountsMate and functions against that. Is there a link to nominal ledger transactions? Yes, there is. Sorry, there will be. It should be out by the end of the month. And as we showed you there, both the nominal accounts drill down into transactions and analyze those transactions into profit and loss balance sheet type of queries. Someone else asked, is it installable on version 24? Yes, it should be. We've tested it from version 24 onwards. Obviously, as we move on with AccountsMate, there may be some things that becoming non-compatible, but we will try to keep it compatible with a number of versions back. But yes, at the moment, it will work with version 24. Someone has asked, can reps be restricted to just being able to view their own customers? I have to think a little bit about that. That would have to be something done in around maybe the analysis code. I don't, not at the moment, I think would be the fairest answer. We restrict what functions you can see, but not what in data within that function. So we can't restrict to subsets of data at the moment. Might be something we look at. Someone asked just what email was the installation details sent to. I can go back individually to that person, but it should be the main contact we have on the support contract that you have with us. The main person that deals with Pimbrook. Someone else has said if you give access to similar thing, if you give access to sales staff, can you restrict what they can view to customer accounts only? Yes, you can do that because and not purchases. You can just take the function for purchases away from that particular group of people. A few people have said are coming through saying they haven't got the email. You may not be the main contact. Yes, certainly. I'll go through these, and we'll send out the details directly to you where possible. If someone has said, if Sage is installed on a server, do you need to install AccountsMate on the server? No, you don't. You just need to install it on a PC. The install, I stepped through there. If it's the first time and you're linking it, you can install it on any PC that has Sage 50 linked to that data on the server. Once it's set up, you don't need even Sage 50 on the PC. Once the PC is on the same network or can get to the data on the server, AccountsMate should work. There's a slightly different install. You just have to download an ODBC. We can help you there. It is also in the instructions. If you want to install AccountsMate on a PC with no Sage 50 at all. Will it work on a tablet? It's Windows based, so yes, it will. Is there any data stored on the local device, which is probably related to that? Very, very minimal. We actually have all the configuration information is held in our own cloud, and all the other, obviously your Sage 50 data is held on your system. So there's nothing other than very small cache files that would be on the actual small device. We haven't tested on a tablet, but if it's a Windows tablet, it should work. Is it only Sage it links to? Yes, at the moment we've only linked it to Sage 50. We'll see how this works, and we may expand that idea, but for the moment, that's all we've done. If you exclude a company and installation, can you add it back? You certainly can. You may need to just contact us, and we can do that for you. Can someone who has only AccountsMate installed on a PC and not Sage do any amendments on the system? No, AccountsMate doesn't allow you to do any amendments into Sage 50 at all. You can't write, you can only query. There's a couple more I'll try and get through. If you add a new company to your license, does it automatically update into AccountsMate, or do you have to link it? You will have to link it, but it's not a big deal. We'll actually do it for you because we can do it in our cloud service. Nominal codes, yes, that's coming out. We, as I said, we hope to have the nominal release. We're testing at the moment. Sorry, the question is, can nominal codes and bank accounts be viewed, and is it compatible with version 23? It's not compatible with version 23. AccountsMate version 24 up. Nominal codes and bank is on the way and should be released by the end of March. As I said, we'll announce the release. There's a little notification, actually I didn't show in the demo, but there's a notification within AccountsMate that you'll see that we will announce any updates. But basically you just log into AccountsMate one day and you'll get new features as they apply. Does AccountsMate do margin reports? We do have profit in there. I'd have to look at exactly what the calculation would be, but yes, we hope, we certainly do have the sales value, the cost, and the profit, so we should be able to do something there. We are also considering it's down the line, but we are also considering, we're exposing just data from Sage 50, but we are also considering adding in calculation fields, which might help with that question there. There's a few more questions here. I will stay on the line. I see there's still a few people there. I'd like to just thank you all though for attending. I hope you found it useful, and really encourage you to use AccountsMate, and any feedback, and all feedback would be greatly appreciated. And thank you again. I'll answer a few more questions here as I stay on for the next couple of minutes. Someone has asked, if you overwrite a license slot company on a multi-user license with a new company, does AccountsMate update the new data for the new company, or do you have to link each time? No, not too sure I'm reading that right, but no, it shouldn't overwrite anything. AccountsMate doesn't limit by users or number of companies you can link to. So you could actually have more than your license for in Sage 50 if you're switching companies on and off, like archive companies or that, if that's what you're talking about. You can link to all of them without, and just switch between companies. Does it work with an RDP, or remote desktop? I presume yes, it would, but it will also work. So we recommend running Sage 50 if you're running over a wide area network over a remote desktop. That's the best way, because you can corrupt data if you run it across a wide area network, a VPN. But actually, AccountsMate should be able to work over a VPN even without an RDP, but it will work with an RDP. What is the cost? Free for, it's included. We're including this in your support contract. If you have a standard one, you get just the standard features, which is basically everything except data analysis and the document previewer. If you have premium, you get everything. Will it work on a remote PC with Sage 50C? Yes, it should, if it's the correct version 24 or above. You need to log into Sage Drive if you want to access information remotely and don't have Sage. No, you don't need Sage Drive for this. Does it require a full path to the server location? That's best practice. Even when you're setting up Sage 50, it's not a good idea to use map drives, because they can expose your server to security threats. But it'll take whatever it does its link in as you from whatever the linkage is from the PC you've set up AccountsMate on, if that makes sense. So you use, however that PC is linked to Sage, that's how AccountsMate will link. So we would always advise that all your PCs should be linked in the same way, in other words, using the same server path. Can you have more than one user? You can have as many users as you want in AccountsMate. No, is there, sorry, do you have to pay each time there is an update? No, there'll be no charge for updates either. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Guys, we've run over a little bit. Again, as I said, I thank you very much, and best of luck with AccountsMate.